3 for 3 is produced by Impact Networking, hosted at the state-of-the-art Unified Support Operations Center in Lake Forest, Illinois. To find out more about the company, schedule a tour of our facilities, or speak to a representative, visit us on the web at impactmybiz.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dick Stockton, and welcome to 3 for 3, an inside look into the careers of icons from many walks of life who have made history, they've broken down barriers, and they continue to bring change in their community. I'm joined today by Bill Jacobs, Impact Networking Chief Diversity Officer, and our very special guest, Bill Cartwright. Bill Cartwright, the quiet man, okay? The Chicago Bulls won 3 championships with Bill Cartwright on the team, 3 of their 6. And you've seen The Last Dance, and you know all about Michael, and you know all about Dennis, and you know all about Scottie, and you know all about these guys. The quiet man, and maybe the key man as a result of the trade for Charles Oakley, was the man who's next to me right now, one of the class performers in the history of the NBA, went through a lot, started with the New York Knicks, and then went to the Chicago Bulls in that trade and had a distinguished career, was also a head coach. We're going to talk about the good and the not so good of the time, but thanks for joining us. And I wonder how often you think back to those days after seeing all of the melange of publicity over the Bulls during that time.
Well, Dick, Bill, it's great to be here. And of course, to be part of that team, part of that organization I was fortunate to have that be part of my journey. My journey really started in New York, where I spent 9 years there, and basically getting myself ready to be in a position to play for the Bulls, because as you know, playing in New York is its own challenge. It really challenges you as a person and challenges your character. So once I got to Chicago, you're pretty much ready for anything then.
Let me ask you about that. And you went through a challenge to your character. And now you come, after playing at USF, and you come to the New York Knicks. Patrick Ewing is the big figure of the Knicks team. Tell me what your first reaction was. People go into a job, your job was to play ball, and they're saying, wait, this is different, man. I'm under different kind of pressures. And tell me what it was like when you got there and played there, and how did you react to it, the good and the adversity aspect of it as well.
Well, look, when I got to New York, it was great for one thing. My first coach was Rand Holzman. I was on a team with Earl Monroe and Marvin Webster. Unfortunately for Marvin, he got sick that year. So I ended up being second in the league in minutes played. So I was really allowed to play a lot. Offensively, I was gold. Defensively, couldn't guard anybody. But that was at a point in time where you have guys like Dave Cowens, you got Bob Lanier rolling in, you've got Artis Gilmore rolling in, there comes Kareem. So every night was a challenge. And you basically just learn by doing at that point in time. It's not like we watched tape. There was no tape to watch. So, but it was a great time. Red was a great coach for me. And then after that, I got guys like Hubie Brown, Bob Hill, Rick Pitino. And it was just a great learning type of atmosphere.
That's incredible, running off those coaches. I mean, Red Holzman, took the Knicks to 2 world championships, in the early 70s. What about the market, the city, New York fans, all of that?
Oh, it's going to test you. So, and you know this, you could have your picture on the back page of the Post, good or bad. We love him or get him out of town. So what you really find out is to have an understanding of why are you playing? Who are you playing for? And who are you really? So after that, nothing's going to bother you. You're just going to play. You're going to play the best you can play. You're going to give what I always tell my guys, just give your best effort. So if I'm giving my best effort, I'm gold. So once I was focused on that, we won early in New York. Did not do so well later on. When Rick Pitino came in, he was really looking at young guys. So Patrick Ewing, Mark Jackson, Kenny Walker, they were going to play. Guys like myself, Louis Orr, Trent Tucker were out. So luckily, in 1988, got traded.
Before we get to the trade, how did you handle that situation when you knew, and many veterans handle that, when a new guy comes in, he's going to want his people, he's going to want the young people. It happens in businesses, with employees, with companies. All of a sudden, they have a new boss, and the boss says, well, I'm not going to run this with the same people. I'm going to make some changes, and they do that in the office. They did that on the court with you as well.
Yeah, you do it, but you handle it. So every coach you're going to play for wants something different from you. And what keeps guys around is figuring out what they need from you. Some guys may think you may be a great offensive player, but I need you to guard. I need you to be a ball handler. I need you to be a distributor. But that's not what I do well. Well, that's what I need. So
What do you do then?
you do it. You do it. And then do what you believe is right. So sometimes if you can't do it, you'll probably get traded. So luckily at that point in time, I wasn't worried about it. Even though I wasn't playing much, I felt like I was on a vacation, like at a spa, just working out. You just do the best you can, and you do everything you can to stay in shape. You don't have to, but once again, why are you playing? You're playing for yourself. You're playing for your family. You're playing to be the best you can be.
You're an analytical guy, aren't you? And do you think that's helped you? I mean, there's no question that you analyze the situation. When you said, who am I? What am I playing for? A lot of guys don't do that. We know that.
Well, you got a choice. You got a choice of you can make it as good as you can or as bad as you can. So my choice was to be the best I could be. And luckily enough, later in the year, when they needed me to play in the playoffs, so I'm playing all season, now I'm playing in the playoffs. And people were able to see that I could still play. And then boom, got traded after that.
What did you think it was going to be like when you came to the Bulls?
I just know they wanted me to play. Jerry Krause was great. He flew me in, say, hey, look, got traded. We like you. We know what you can do. And just play how you can play. I had a great coach at the time with Doug Collins. Mm-hmm. Doug just told me, just you know what you got to do to get yourself ready to play. So we had the foundations of a really great team. Michael, Scottie, Horace, John Paxson, all those guys were already there. And we were close. But what I really liked is their aim. They're aiming to win a championship, which is something that I've always wanted. So I didn't need to be a big scorer. I just wanted to play and be a really big contributor. So it was a perfect scenario.
I probably know the answer to this question, but do you have to like your teammates?
Do you have to like them? No, you don't have to like anybody. But but the thing is that you do have to appreciate them and what they do well. Mm-hmm. So Some of it is an age gap. Being the old guy on the team, I think I was 31 or 32. That makes you not in that group. But that's absolutely normal in sports. So, on my end, I didn't have any worries. And once again, I just got done playing in New York. What in the world worries could I have going to Chicago? Nothing's going to bother me. So I was ready. I was fired up.
And nothing did bother you, is that correct?
Zero bothered me.
Yeah. You just stood and watched the circus, so to speak.
Well, it wasn't a circus. It was really talented players learning how to play basketball, and it was a really great time. So
Yeah.
it took us 2 years to overcome the dreaded Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
We made a coaching change. Got acclimated to Phil. Got acclimated to Tex Winter. We got acclimated to guarding with our coach there, Johnny Bach. People have their roles. We had really high expectations. And luckily, 2 years later, beat the Lakers for our first championship.
Well, when I use the term circus, it was more like there was more drama, maybe, than a lot of people had anticipated. It didn't affect you.
Well, what's interesting is that was there a lot of drama that's been written? Probably not. Look, we're just going to work every day for the 3-4 hours we're at practice, for that point in time in the gym. We're just playing basketball. So there is drama. I don't think so. I think it's just playing. That's just what you do.
But you have the philosophy down. It worked for you.
So Bill, you have 3 championship rings playing with the Chicago Bulls, and you have 2 championship rings coaching up under Phil Jackson, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
How was it making the transition from a player then to start coaching players that you play with? How was that?
It was great. It was great. Thanks to Jerry Krause, not only traded for me, but it basically talked me into coaching. I had just finished grad school, got my master's. Jerry Krause called me up, wanted me to come down and coach, and I thought, coach, really? So I basically turned him down, and he called me back 2 days later and said, nope, I want you to come down and coach. So it was great. So now I'm coaching with Phil, Tex Winter, who's really my mentor. Guys like Johnny Bach, Frank Hamlin, Jim Clemens, all great coaches. Great teachers of basketball.
And then you became a head coach of the Chicago Bulls.
Became a head coach after Phil left, after Tim Floyd left. That was a great opportunity. We had the youngest team in the league with guys like Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler, Jamal Crawford, Jay Williams before he got hurt. And it was great. It was a great time. So I really enjoyed it.
Let me ask you this. I know you went and coached over in Japan. Do you speak Japanese?
Besides mushi mushi,
That's pretty good. Most people can't even do that.
So
how was that?
Well, it was great,
Okay.
But that was after a long journey of coaching in Chicago. Once I got fired there, I went to I was an assistant coach for Lawrence Frank in Jersey.
That's right.
Once I got fired there, we went to Phoenix, and coached there. Once we got fired there, then I came back actually here, and I had an opportunity to take over a team. They were 5-19. It was awesome, just awesome to be able to go coach. We were able to turn that team around. Just too far. It's too far away.
And then you went over to Mexico and was a head coach, correct?
The Mexican national team, that was great too. Went over there. Lot of machismo there. So I decided not to go back over there. So, but it was a great opportunity to understand that it doesn't matter where you are. It's basketball. The same philosophies, the same kids, the same understanding, what's important. So it was great lessons learned.
Bill, what about the injuries that all athletes have to face in their careers? You had the foot injury, then you were, hitting the larynx later on. How do you deal with that?
It's the nature of the beast. And look, I was lucky. I had played in 164 straight games, and working out during the summertime, I stepped on a pebble. And being foolish, instead of taking time off, I decided to keep working. Became a stress fracture, so I was off for a year and a half. And then now, I'm injury prone. So it's just the nature of the beast. And you're going to have injuries if you're a physical player, like I was. I got hit in the throat, fractured my larynx, paralyzed my vocal cord. I was lucky to find a good doctor, so I'm lucky to be speaking at all.
That's a big win. What happened?
Yeah. So I view that as being extraordinarily positive.
There's no question you're an upbeat guy and positive, which is glass half full. Probably with you, the glass is totally full, I'm thinking, not half full.
Yeah, you got to be excited. I know Bill's excited about himself, and I know that I am too.
Absolutely.
So, there's great possibilities of things happening. There's a lot of people to be involved with who are a hell of a lot smarter than me. So I tried to mix in with them as much as possible to make me look brilliant. Doesn't work yet, but maybe it'll work eventually.
You're still with USF, correct?
Still doing, I'm director of initiatives at USF. Our great leader, Father Paul Fitzgerald, allowed me to come back. And it's been awesome to be able to be a mentor to those guys, to be able to reconnect with our old school mates. It's been a lot of fun, so I'm hoping that continues.
You still play the guitar?
I'm still working on it. It's a love-hate relationship. It's like working out every day. Some days I love to do it. Some days I'm just getting through it. So I'll get there. I'm not sure when, but I'm definitely going to get there.
Bill, I know you've done some restaurant business. How do you like the restaurant business?
Well, as you know, I have a restaurant in Highwood here. It's called Froggy's. It's a French cafe. It's been in existence for about 40 years. I've owned it for about 15 with my partner, Terry LaFleur. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome journey with that.
What do you give advice to people who have whatever job they have at whatever company they have? The attitude they should have, what they should be thinking about, how they can avoid being negative or however it is, because they can take a page from you because you've had, all kinds of things with you in your career and you remember the good things.
Well, I think the big thing, and hopefully you have that in your, whoever's your leader has them understand how important their job is. That organization cannot function without them and their job. So everybody's job, no matter how big or small they believe it is, it's really important. And the better you are in it, the better our company's going to be. So you should be really excited to go to work every day. I know that I'm really excited to participate and to get out and just talk about the company, how well it's doing, how we're doing, and how else can I help make it better.
Everyone has a role, and it's part of the success. It's part of the whole machinery of a success of a.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have a glitzy job, but that job is as important as the boss's job.
Right.
So you've got to have that understanding that, look, my job's important. It's really important. My business can't function without it. So hopefully you've got great leadership that will reconfirm that. It's nice to be compensated for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
But just understand that your job is really important.
Where did this foundation establish with you? How far back? Go back to when you were a kid, whatever, that formed who you are today.
Well, I was a worker as a kid. I had no choice. My dad, who's still around, is 89 years old. He was a farm laborer. It's from Texas. He was a workhorse growing up, so you had to be one as well. But inside of that, you had to do a really good job, and that was the standard, that you were going to just do the best you could do. And just by saying it in those simple terms, people do really well, because if that's the best you could do, that's the best you could do. So you learn to work. You learn to work hard. It wasn't fun work. My dad was really tricky. I was tall growing up. So in thinking that, I got a chance to drive a tractor at 10 years old, well, he's thinking, he could drive a tractor so he could work. So he was really smart, really tricky, and then you got rewarded by being reimbursed. Not a lot, but you got something for all that work you were doing. So, but it really became the standard of our family, is that if we can't do anything else, we can work.
Right.
We can work harder. We can work longer than anybody else.
And your attitude. Now, when did you develop the attitude you have?
Well, my attitude has always been that way, and that's my dad's attitude. That's my parents' attitude, is that this is where we are. Let's make the best of it. It's not that bad. It's better than not having a job at all. And let's try to have some fun with it. I mean, it wasn't always fun to be working in the field at 105 degrees outside when there's no trees and no shade, but somehow you get through it, and it's not really that bad, but it's just part of the process, and this is what we do.
This is attitude, maybe more than half the battle, and you can tell by listening to Bill Cartwright, who has seen the highs and lows. To him, only the highs, which is phenomenal, really, because he's had a brilliant career and he's had great experiences that he'll remember. Bill, thanks for joining us. It's been a big asset having you with us today.
Well, thank you, Dick. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Big Bill.
All right, Bill Cartwright will always be remembered in Chicago. 3 championship rings for the Bulls. Thank you for joining us on 3 on.